Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Chick Smooth. Glad you guys are enjoying the content. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you can know when I post. I post really often, about 4 times a day. All right. So, if you're enjoying this content, hit the Cash App if you want to donate. Subscribe to my channel. Let's get right into this one.
No 50% allocated somewhere. There's no sample. Do you know how much money is somewhere sitting, Irv?
I'm following now. I get it.
We have to unearth that. And we can't do it because a company has that money under, make up some shit that don't matter. Under, hey, marketing and promo for podcasters. Hey, the new podcast division. Actually, if you want the long and short of it, Joe's opinion only. Joe's opinion only. They'll never give us the publishing money because the publishing money is the money that they're trying to get back that the label stole from them or that Apple stole from them. It's all stolen money. So I used to think that money would trickle back down to the people. I no longer think that. The people got to get up to distribute it properly. There has to be a jack there to give Joe equity so Joe can go create more equity.
So as it exists, as it stands right now, the way that it works on the platforms, does publishing not exist? Does it belong to the platform, or is it just murky
Yes.
waters? It belongs to the platforms.
Yes.
Wow. Got you.
And that is where the issue lies.
I get it, bro. I get it. I understand the fight.
Because the publishing belongs to the platforms are taking it. They're taking it and they're cutting deals with the other platforms for your audio with your consent, but without your knowledge. Like there's so much shit happening behind the scenes because you hit send because you wanted a bigger look or you wanted a bigger community from the platform or you couldn't do it alone and you need to, man, listen. And that's what the companies are afraid of. They're afraid of all the podcasters finding that out. Because if you find that out, then everybody would be acting like Joe. And imagine if everybody was acting like Joe.
So it's kind of like to the demographic of rappers going independent, not depending on labels.
Yeah, but it's a lot deeper. It's way more sophisticated than that. That was at the music level. Now we dealing in tech. It's a lot deeper. It's a lot deeper than that.
Okay.
And the good thing about it happening in tech is that, you're seeing the podcasting kind of happen from the inception and you're able to address those things based on everything you saw and learned through your music industry experience and change it now. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like get ahead of it. You know what I mean?
Listen, we witnessing a phenomenon right now. Like this little window, my grandma would have dreamed of all this shit happening right now when she was trying to buy stock in Campbell Soup. Like this shit right here, I know niggas is tired of hearing my voice say it because for 20 years I've been saying creator rights, creator rights, creator rights. But like now, if a few more people get to thinking like that, woo, because again, you don't need the masses to execute what needs to be done. Like 10 years ago, I said, imagine if Drake went independent. What would happen? Now, granted, Drake wouldn't do that because he needed to go and become Drake. But even today, right? I have a theory. I think Drake supports probably more than half the music business. I think if he wakes up one day and stops and just gets the rights to all his shit, then half the music business has to disappear. Right? So by that thinking, you only need those people. Like if Joe Rogan wouldn't have did what he did, things may go a little differently. If Bill Simmons wouldn't have did that, if Charlemagne wouldn't have did that, if the big people wouldn't do what they do, things could go a little differently.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna give you a crazy analogy. It's funny you say that. So this week, I heard Gary Vee saying how the NBA is the first league that can collapse because it's a star-driven league. So it's almost like a double-edged sword, right? So they lead with their stars. So essentially, they're top-heavy. So if all the top basketball players got together had dinner with some other billionaire and say, yo, I want y'all to come create your own league. You're going to have more equity. You're going to own it, whatever. They could all dip on the NBA and the NBA would collapse. It's essentially similar to what you're saying.
That's
So
that's what the NFL. That's why the NFL isn't driven off superstars.
right. No, I get that. So my question to you, Joe, is why do you think more people in those positions, like, is there politics that we're not privy to? Like, why don't more people take the position that you take, or aren't as vocal as you are about it, do you think?
Herb, you know how tough it is to not be self-serving?
I mean, yeah. yeah.
Like, that's really the long and short of it for me. I could never sit here and criticize Joe Rogan for taking maybe over $100 million a year. That's what that looks like. Like, that's the decision you're faced with. Hey, do what I think is best, or take this money. Like, that's why I keep running around saying, hey, I turned this money down. Hey, I turned this money down. I turned this money down. It's not to brag. There's no pride in turning that money down, but it's more symbolic of, hey, you can't purchase me out of my point. You can't buy me out of what I believe to be correct and incorrect. I don't care what the money is because I've never had it, but I can't expect that to be everybody else's position.
I get it. I don't want to call it a rant, but I'll call it a monologue. But the monologue you had about it was spot on. You know what I'm saying? I'm just always curious as to, like, okay, with artists in particular. So, like, in let's say corporate world or whatever, I can understand why information isn't disseminated, right? Because it's almost like a crabs in a barrel mentality. Well, I got this opportunity. I got to where I'm at, knowing what I know. If I give that game away, or if I give that information away, you come from my spot, whatever. But in the artist world, it's completely different, right? Because it's somewhat more democratized, you know? So I'm just like, okay, well, if you guys are who you are, when I say you guys, I mean, like, you know, the upper echelon of the pop culture world, and you know better. So it's like, why not be vocal about it and try to make a change in unison, you know? But like you said, you can't fight everybody's fight, and at the very least, I will give you your flowers, because this isn't new. Like, you've been standing on this for a long while now.
I'm
You know what I
fighting
mean?
everybody's fight. I'm just fighting it my own way, the same way I've been fighting it.
Yeah,
He's not selling
no,
out,
you are.
basically. He's
Yeah,
not selling out,
he's
bro.
not. He's not. But you know, it's like, imagine how quicker the changes that Joe's trying to make could happen if a Drake or whoever aligns.
You
And say,
can
you know
look at
what?
it like when people were taking knees in the NFL when Kaepernick was the first person taking a knee. Nobody else wanted to do it because nobody else wanted to put their job on the line. So when he says this person took this money, but I'm not taking this money, it's the same type of scenario to some magnitude, where you got guys that aren't taking these because they want that money. They don't want to lose what they have. He's standing on moral, saying, I'm not taking this money because he wants his voice. He wants his own opinion. He doesn't want it to be altered, because, you know, in the industry, certain situations or certain companies can alter what you say. You know, I'll say, you know, a certain group of guys that had a really good successful situation going on until they got a deal, and their content changed because they got a deal. But when they were, you know, bodega type of dudes, it was straight up forward. You knew it was coming from them. But when you get a deal, when you go to a certain network, they're gonna structure the stuff you talk about. So that's kind of
Well,
like what I get from it.
no, not totally. I think that I guess I'm looking at it from a different lens, only because in your example, if you're an NFL player, you don't want to lose your job. I mean, look, there's 100,000 kids or 200, however many thousands of kids playing college football coming up right behind you, that NFL teams can essentially, or any team for that matter, be like, you know what, you don't want to play, you don't want to follow our rules, you want to keep bending, you know, taking a knee or whatever, then fuck off. We'll find somebody else to replace you. You know what I'm saying? With an artist, you present a unique skill set. And that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it takes to be a star artist? Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
No, I
you know what I
think
mean?
I think it really depends. I think it really starts with